Yo. Testing. There we go. We are back on. We got the second pick. I feel like I've had a lot of like top 4 picks, which is awesome. I hope he goes Saquon Barkley. Let me get Jamar Chase again here. That would be awesome. Way to start this one. See what happens though. 21 seconds of the draft here. If you're in the chat, what is your favorite position to draft from? Yeah, man, I feel like that's the best place to draft from. Like the top 3 I really like, or maybe even like the top 5. And then I really like that 12th pick because you're able to double up. And sometimes you get like, especially early on the big board, you're able to get like Malik Neighbors and Amon-Ra. Right now, it's basically you're going to take one of those wide receivers, then the other one's going to be, a running back, which doesn't seem bad at all. And then you're able to get that, nice, pick 36 in there as well. Bijan first, let's go. Jamar Chase, come on down. I never hesitated from going Jamar Chase. It's always nice to get him at the 2 spot. Let's go. I feel like the top, 5 picks, I'm like, you can't really go wrong. I feel like Barkley could be, a regression target next year just because, like, he's had so many touches. He has, 475, touches, assuming he makes, 25 touches in the Super Bowl in this year. Just the history of running backs trying to repeat the level of efficiency and not get, banged up next year. I feel like also, I always see him on the sideline, working on his calf, doing something with his legs. I just wonder if he's going to be able to hold up next year with how big of a workload he had in 2024. But we'll have to see. Nico Collins, Amon-Ra St. Brown. I need to be adjusting some of my rankings, though. Also, I want to get Chigakonko this draft, I believe. We'll have to see where our tight ends go, though. I realize I only have 8% Chig. Let's see where we go here. Neighbors. So all of the wide receivers went off the board. Unless he goes all the way back to Drake London. So he's probably going to double tap running back. Which I wonder how that's going to turn out with double tapping running back here. Could be positive EV, but McCaffrey seems like a good high upside pick in a draft like this. I mean, if he gets back to form of 2023, he's going to be a league winner at 13 especially. Genty 14. So pick 23. I really hope that A.J. Brown, Lad McConkey, or Drake London's available. That's probably a pipe dream, but T. Higgins would be nice to get some correlation there. And T. Higgins, I think, was like wide receiver 2 on average in points per game, so that's not bad at all. Obviously, we saw what he did in Week 17 for the playoffs. Was the wide receiver 1, I think, that week, so just mossing people. And likely he's on his own team, his own alpha. So if he has a good, competent quarterback, maybe he gets Drake May. That could be really good, especially with their defense being so bad. That'd be awesome to see that happen. Brock Bowers at 16. He goes Drake London. And the two guys I really want to have on my team, A.J. Brown and Lad McConkey. And A.J. Brown's down. See if Lad can get squeezed to 23. Lad gets taken. See if these three running backs go in this order. Maybe I'll pick him up, Bucky Irving. Love me some Bucky. I had 25% of his ownership last year, so that was huge for BestBall Mania, getting in the BestBall Mania finals. Him and Chuba just carried me home. Just carried me home for sure. Tyreek Hill, 2.9. So we got Josh Jacobs available. If I want to kind of do that sort of build. Higgins is gone. Yeah, I'm kind of feeling doing more of a running back heavy type of draft. Let's do Josh Jacobs. He's a focal point of that offense. I'll look to get Jaden Reed later. I do like him with Watson being out. Some correlation there. I like Terry McLaurin a lot. So if Terry McLaurin's there, I got to click on him. And he's mine. Terry McLaurin, welcome to the team. You're going to be a top 6 wide receiver next year. I mean, he was, 6 wide receiver last year, and he had a rookie quarterback. I know Jay Daniels was awesome, but he's going to keep progressing next year. I expect even more progression out of him. You might get some more target competition there for the Commanders, but I just feel like you're set as the alpha. You're most likely going to get a rookie for Commanders. Maybe they get like Chris Godwin or something like that, but I feel like the elevation of that offense will continue next year with Jaden Daniels. So I'm not shying away at all from drafting McLaurin at 3.2. He is someone also that I have to thank a lot because he was on my BestBall Mania team that made it to the finals. Also, he was on my team for the mitten that's in the finals. Obviously, he's not in the Super Bowl, but he carried me the whole way until the conference final and then got me into the Super Bowl final. So you gotta love that. He's just a fun player. Like he never had drama. He just stayed with the Commanders. They kept paying him obviously too, but he was never a diva. He never was like, I'm tired of playing with no quarterbacks. And finally he was rewarded with a nice quarterback play, and he's the top 12 wide receiver. Just fun stuff. Gotta love it, honestly. 47. Let's see what happens here. I'm probably looking at JMO. Get some NFC North correlation there. I like JMO a lot. I mean, he finished well above 24, but he's going as wide receiver 24. I expect him to be more of a focal point with Amon-Ra St. Brown, but we'll have to see. Just a matter of if Ben Johnson not being there will hamper his production, but he's really started to break out. Finally a couple years off of the ACL, off the gambling, couple game suspension. Always a good thing to see players progress there. Always good. Jaden Daniels goes off the board. I was kind of hoping that he would somehow fall to me at 47. Obviously, that was a pipe dream at this point. Xavier Worthy is my next targeted guy. But I would love some Rome Odunze shares. Devonta Adams, always love him. I might sprinkle in some George Kittle. I have not drafted a lot of George Kittle, but I mean, the proof is in the pudding. He had 190 points last year. He's pretty consistent, but he's like inconsistent every week. So it's nice to have him as like one of your top tight ends. And also with Ayuk on IR, probably to start the year next year, he's a good option in the offense for sure. Devonta Smith goes. I do not like Devonta Smith's value right now. I feel like he should go a round and a half later. The talent is all there, but the run-heavy expectation for the Eagles, I just cannot draft him at 43. I don't know what you guys are doing, but I just cannot draft him there. Yeah, you agree too. It's like I just feel like he's going way too high in drafts. Jamar Chase, McLaren. Might get some Tet McMillan too. Might be a little bit of a reach, but that's where he's going. I haven't gotten a lot of Tet McMillan shares. Let's see how many drafts I have of Rome. See how heavy concentration. 13% versus Tet is 6. Let's get a Tet share if he's available. How about? Let's see if we get him here. Hurts off the board. Get him out. Roma Dunze's gone, so even better. I mean, Tet McMillan's there. I have a lot of Davante Adams. I'll see what happens there. Worst case scenario, I just grab Joe Burrow and we call it a day. We call it a day, folks. Let's see what he does. He gets Flowers and he goes Waddle. He does not get Davante Adams. I love Joe Burrow, but let's see if we can like push him a little bit. I'm probably not going to get Joe Burrow, but that's okay. We'll push this guy. We'll go Davante Adams. Let's see what happens. Let's try to push him. I feel really good about this kind of a build where you get one solid running back, most likely, in Josh Jacobs. He's been, a solid piece for years. Obviously, with the Raiders, not as good of an offense, but with the Green Bay Packers, he should be scoring lots of points this year. A lot of usage. I think he had like 275 points last year, so really an anchor piece for this team. Got my 4 wide receivers. I feel pretty strong about that. Tet McMillan as a rookie, he should land on an alpha team where they're looking for him to be, the all guy that they're going towards. And I'm pretty comfortable with him being a high draft pick in the draft with what I saw on tape. So I feel like he has like a Drake London type of season. Year 1. I think he goes right where he's going. We'll see what happens here. We got 16 picks left. Joe Burrow, is he going to last that long? I would really doubt it. But if he's somehow available at 71, I will be picking him up. I'll be interested to see what happens with these running backs, if they fall a little bit there. Caleb Johnson, always a good pick. I've been loving James Conner, and I think Trayvon Henderson has the highest upside to be, a top 50 pick because I think he's going to get the draft capital. And I really think that the Broncos are looking at Trayvon Henderson as their, joker role. There was a clip out about how Sean Payton's looking for that joker role again for his offense. A guy that's either a wide receiver or running back that's really good pass catcher that really just opens up the field like a yak monster, like a Reggie Bush. And I could see Trayvon Henderson as being a better NFL running back than he was a college running back. And he has a lot of that skill set where he's, a home run hitter. He's not going to make a lot of people miss or break a lot of tackles necessarily, but he's going to be beating guys with his speed. And he has the speed. He has a Jahmyr Gibbs type of skill set. And I think he's actually a better, pass catcher in space where he's able to make a guy miss. Jahmyr Gibbs struggled a little bit, honestly, like the first 2.5 years. But last half a year last year, he really broke out in that regard. But I see Henderson really, taking the ball, running, and really being a really good prospect. Also, another guy that I really don't understand his pricing is Sam Laporta. You lose Ben Johnson, and you got Sam Laporta at 61. He wasn't a difference maker last year. He was, better at the end of the year, but I'd much rather have Mark Andrews a little bit later, and probably even Jonnu Smith much later than I would Sam Laporta at 61. Give me one of those running backs there, wide receiver, honestly. So we're 6 picks away. We still have Joe Burrow on the board. Patty Mahomes just went off. Patty Mahomes just went off. It's going to be tight. It's going to be tight. But the guy that has T. Higgins is 70. There's no way. There's no way he doesn't go with Joe Burrow unless he's sleeping. Unless he's sleeping here. Let's see, guys. Yeah, I appreciate everyone in the chat. We got 3 people chilling, watching some best ball, not best ball mania, the big board draft. If you like this kind of content and if you want to support me, hit that like button, but also hit that subscribe button. We'll be going live lots. I won Best Ball Mania. I didn't win Best Ball Mania, but I got to the finals of Best Ball Mania. Got 190th. Snagged a nice $8,000 out of that. And I'm in the mitten. Of course, yeah, Joe Burrow. 1 pick away. Oh, that hurts. That hurts a lot. Now who are we going? Yeah, that really hurts a lot. I really want to go... Let's go David Montgomery. Pair him up. And then did Reed leave? Is Reed gone already? Yeah, Reed's gone. See what they pick. I might be opposed to actually going Sam Laporte at 74. I know I just was dissing on him, but having that team correlation is not bad. Oh, he's gone too. Cool. Man, this draft's been a little weird, but I think Juwan Jennings is a nice pick. I'm gonna go Jacoby Myers though. Let's do that, and then let's see who we have exposure wise. 18% versus 8%. Let's go to. Got the wrong one. I was trying to get Jacoby Myers up that, but I was too slow, guys. That's what happens. But Jacoby Myers is a great pick at 74, I feel like. But Juwan Jennings, I feel like it's like a 50-50 shot. I think, who's going to be like the wide receiver really one until Ayuk gets back. Maybe even, the whole season. Because Ayuk, he might come back and he might not be 100% ready. I could see Juwan Jennings being really fantasy relevant. Or Pearsall. It's hard to know which one's going to be more of the go-to guy. Obviously, we saw both of them really break out at the end of the year without Deebo Samuel on the field as well as Ayuk. But to be seen. Jacoby Myers, most likely they're going to get some more competition there. I don't know who their quarterback play is there. So it's a little bit of murky for Jacoby, but he's always produced. So he's not a bad target at 81 ADP. I don't have a lot of Junkins either. I could have went Junkins. Yeah, Judkins 2.5. I just feel like he's not a guy I'm really obviously targeting much. I'm over here. Let's get in this draft here. Who are you guys like really excited about in best ball? Like where they're going in drafts? Who's your like one guy that you have the most exposure with, or who you guys think is going to be a game breaker for best ball this year? Put in the chat who you guys think. Let me know how your day's going, all that good stuff as well. Would love hearing from you guys. Hit that like button as well if that works as well. It's like a 2-5. How's the board going? Has anyone like grabbed 2 quarterbacks yet? That Joe Burrow was rough. Rough. I like how the board's going, though. No one's going too crazy. Quarterback. It's always good. I feel like you need to look to make sure someone's not being a crazy quarterback, hoarder, because that's going to really crop up in the later rounds if that does happen. Mark Andrews really redeemed himself with those touchdowns, but I wonder if he's going to get back to form, like, getting over 1,000 yards, or if he's just a guy that's going to have, 800 yards, probably less touchdowns next year, or if he's going to just have another good touchdown season. It's hard to tell. I feel like he's a good pick, though, at 84. I've been picking him a lot, but maybe the pick is to wait for Tyler Warren a little later or Jonnu Smith. We're 8 picks away, so we might be in that range. I might go Pearsall, and I might go Purdy as a good option as well. Get that 6th wide receiver. Feel really strong with the wide receiver position. Feel pretty good about the running backs, honestly, too. I mean, when he was healthy, David Montgomery was the guy there. He was consistently getting, your 10 to 15 points in Underdog, getting that touchdown, getting those 70 yards. You got to love that. Get a couple catches there, you're good to go. And Josh Jacobs was just a beast. Just a beast down the stretch. So I'm feeling good about how the team's shaping up this year on this team. Having Jamar Chase, McLaurin, Devonta Adams. If you told me all three of those guys were top 8 at their position, I'd be like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Josh Jacobs, probably top 6 of his position. Montgomery, top 18. That's a winning format right there. Now we got to sprinkle in some of those valuable rookies, running backs, and just good guys that you need on your team. Ricky Pearsall's gone. Bloop, bloop. What are you doing to me? I like his build too. Jahmyr Gibbs and Taylor, some high-end running backs, and then he's just filling in some really good Jacoby Myers. It's like guys that are just going to kind of produce pretty well. I like that strategy. It's going to be hard to beat him. Mooney is starting to fall. Pacheco, I have 0 Pacheco shares. He continues to fall. I might pick him up, honestly. I'm going to go Brock Purdy second, I think. I'm going to get some Tyler Warren. I'm a believer that I think his draft capital is going to increase his stock. I think his landing spot is going to be interesting. I hope it's not the Colts, but even if it is, I think they're going to really utilize him a lot, similar to what we see with Brock Bowers. And he's a guy that's going to break tackles. Really good tight end. Let's see if we get Brock Purdy here. We do. He didn't have a great year last year, but I think he has a chance to really elevate this year coming up. Let's look at my exposure to Tyler Warren. 13.8%, so nothing too crazy. Brock Purdy, I'm really don't have a lot of shares in, so just getting some correlation there is always nice to see. Let's go back to the big board here. But I feel like, he's a steady Eddie. He uses his legs more than you would expect. So it's nice to see that for sure. And who else we got? We got Jordan Love. We could stack kind of some later wide receivers on there because I don't need the running back help. See how the board falls, though. Travis Kelce continues to fall. I can't imagine drafting him with the risk of him retiring. I think he came out and said he wants to keep playing, but also he wasn't very good last year. Let's open him up. He had 146. At one point, he was going above Mark Andrews. I was like, I don't know how this is happening, but here we are. Welcome to BestBall, Playoff Kelce is not regular season Kelce. And with Rashee Rice coming back, Xavier Worthy, I know he might be suspended for a little bit, but still. I'm liking how the team's kind of flowing here. Let's look at the board, overall board. Where's the board at? Oh, go to draft. It's like, where is this board at? There we go. I feel like Ramondre Stevenson's a really interesting pick. I feel like that offense is going to be underrated going in the offseason, but in free agency, I expect them to really tackle the tackle position, but guard any offensive line that they really need to build on. Mostly, I think tackles is where they struggle the most. I think they're really going to build on that. Think of like how Bryce Young and the Panthers really built on their team last year. They invested a lot of money at high-end offensive linemen. I expect the same thing for the Patriots. They're really going to tackle that position and allow Drake May to operate. And if Drake May is allowed to operate and do well, I think that offense is going to be much better than last year. And I expect that to translate over and get a lot more running back points for Ramondre Stevenson. Travis Kelce went to 107. 108 Dak. He's on his way up. He didn't even have any. He didn't have CeeDee Lamb at this point. Interesting pick. Tony Pollard. So maybe he's a fan of the Cowboys, you know. See, we're in 7 picks here. I would not be sad about Caleb Williams on my team here. Could also go Justin Herbert as my next quarterback, or just go a naked Drake May with that rushing upside. I think I'm going to do that, and then try to get Hunter Henry on the team as my tight end 2, and probably just go 2 tight ends, because with this kind of build, I need Tyler Warren to be that guy, and I think he has the upside case to be, you know, a nice high-end tight end. So, but I'm not going to spend more at the position just because, you know, I'm worried that Tyler Warren's not going to hit. He just has to hit for this build to work out. So I think that's one of the ways that people really mess up their draft. They draft, you know, a couple high-end rookies, running backs, and they're like, well, if they don't hit, I need some like veterans to back them up. And then they end up, you know, it doesn't help you out. You have to depend on those rookies if you're drafting them that high, and then, you know, not back up the position that you drafted heavily already in. So that's just my tip of the day, if that makes any sense. I think Keenan Allen to the Patriots would be sick. So I'm going to be drafting Keenan Allen just because I love him too. That would be awesome if that ended up. I cannot believe Stephon Diggs is still 104 ADP. Like, he should be 150. Like, there's no reason why he's anywhere close to the top 100 picks. He's a bad pick in my opinion, but what do I know? I'm just a guy. Let me get Drake May. You took my Joe Burrow. Let me get my Drake May. So let me cook here. Come on, big nuts. He likes to take his time. Hopefully he gets Stephon Diggs. He went Kraft. Interesting pick. We go Drake May. Drake May in the house here. We don't have any of the, you know, his pieces yet, but we'll add some stuff. So Keenan Allen, come on down. Not playing with a rookie this year, most likely. So that's going to be huge for his value. He was heavily targeted last year. Just Caleb Williams just didn't get it done, honestly, for him. But I think there's still a lot of juice left for Keenan Allen in the slot. He commands a lot of targets. If he goes to the Patriots, or if he goes to another team that's looking for that veteran presence, that's an up-and-coming offense that doesn't want to pay the guy, like maybe he goes to the Rams. That'd be awesome. And I would take it. Yeah, maybe he signs like a friendly deal, goes back to the Chargers. Like, there's a lot of options where he's elevated on a pretty good offense and just works in the slot, gets those targets. I'm a really big fan of Keenan Allen, especially after ADP. I mean, 122, yeah, come on down. Come on down. At this point, I really need to start adding the running backs. I won't have a running back pick until 143. So at this point, I've been really high and talking to people on Twitter about going Devin Neal a lot, but he's already off the board. Holy crap. I remember back in my day, I was able to draft Devin Neal at 160. No one knew who he was. Now he's going 125. I've seen him go as high as 105. I expect him to continue to go up draft boards. And, you know, a small part of me thinks, like, I'm going to be too high on the guy. He's going to go 3rd, 4th round. I'll be disappointed. But honestly, that's where Bucky Irving went last year. And I see a lot of Bucky Irving in Devin Neal. He went in the 4th round, and he was still fantasy relevant. I could see Devin Neal hitting the 2nd round, even high first, or not high first round, but the back end of the 1st. Being a Chief is definitely a possibility. He was at Kansas college. He went to Kansas. So they had that local connection with Kansas City. And I could see him being drafted to the Chiefs, being an instant lock for a top 70 pick in final ADP for September. So he's a guy that I'm definitely targeting. You know, is that a long shot? Probably. But I could see him being really productive in lots of different offenses that could utilize him. He's just a guy that's really good in space. He's really good lateral agility. He makes people look silly in the hole. That wiggle that he has is elite. He doesn't have elite skills at strength or speed, but I think he gets it done. I think he gets a 4.48 40-yard dash in the combine. I think he weighs in at like 215. He's 5'10", maybe he's 5'11" at the combine, and I think he's going to be a really good running back in the next level. He's a guy that I'll be targeting in dynasty drafts, especially at the back end of the first, early second. But that's just me in my takes here. We got 6 picks away. Evan Ingram scares the bejesus out of me, but at 135, you kind of just have to be okay with it. So running backs have really dried up. I'm going to have to rely on some juice from positions elsewhere. Some guys, some rookies stepping up for me, but we'll have to see what happens. I think Trey Benson's an interesting pick here. We'll see what happens with the rest of this draft here. I think people forget the athleticism that Trey Benson had. I still think that James Conner is going to be a focal point in that offense, but also he's rarely had a season that he hasn't been injured for at least a few games. So I can see Trey Benson really taking the league by storm late half of the season. He's a great guy I'm going to be picking up in drafts. Let's see how many drafts I have exposure to James Conner. Yep, 33.8%, but then Trey Benson, I think 15%, that's still really good. I think he's a guy that you should be targeting in drafts. So I'm up next. Trey Benson is gone. So I'm not going Blake Corum. And it looks like a lot of these guys are valued much deeper. And I could probably, Dalton Kincaid would be interesting. Kind of puts me in a kind of a rough spot here. Could go Bryce Young. Let's go Bryce Young. And I think Sampson's going to be worth his squeeze too. So it's kind of scrolling back a little bit, but he's got to get the positions you need. I like Bryce Young on the team. I have no faith that Blake Corum's even good at football, honestly. Kyren Williams, I think he has the backfield pretty well established unless they draft somebody. But they don't have, I don't think, a second-round pick. They might have a third-round pick. Let me look Rams' future picks here. Let's look at this, guys. Rams' future picks. I like these kind of sites a lot. So first round, they have that pick. Second round, the Panthers have it. Third round, they have 2 third-round picks. So they could get I feel like there could be a lot of sneaky third-round picks out there. Some sneaky third-round picks. 17 picks away. So I'm hoping that Ollie Gordon's still available. Go maybe Tyler Algier. That's kind of a handcuffer, but he still did pretty well last year with Bijan having a really good year as well. I love Jalen Wright because he should be in line for that number 2 role. Obviously didn't have a good rookie season, but they could invest in that offensive line. I feel like every time he had the ball, he had 10 yards or something like that, and then they'd get like a holding penalty or something ridiculous, like false start, illegal shift, something ridiculous that would negate it. So hopefully this will be a good year for him. And I gotta take my upside shots at running back. There's some other running backs that'll be, guys that I want to pick up, like Austin Eckler, DJ Giddens, Nick Chubb, Jordan Mason. Those guys are gonna have to be the guys I kind of pull out of nowhere. This roster build, I might not go many more wide receivers than 6. I feel pretty comfortable with these wide receivers. So I could do like 6'3", 2, 6'3", 2. What's that? 6'3", 2, so 11, and then like 9 running backs. Just really load up at running backs. Maybe do 8 running backs, because that seems a little absurd to go 9. But a little bit counterintuitive on your normal 7 build. I usually do 7 wide receivers, 7 running backs, 3-3. But when you have the running back depth, or when you don't have it, you need to kind of make up with it in volume. Ollie Gordon goes 53. You hate to see it. I also want some Cole Kmet on this team if I can. Or just going Hunter Henry. Colson Loveland, I have not drafted much of him. I could draft him too. Just be a wild tight end draft here. Let's see what happens. We got 6 picks left. Adam Thielen, haven't been nice to pair up with Bryce Young. Yeah, hate to see it. I might go three tight ends though. Go Hunter Henry and maybe get like Jatavian Sanders. I feel like he's gonna have a little bit of a breakout season. He showed some promise year 1, and then pairing that up with my guy in Bryce Young. Four picks away. Oh, man. Man, this guy has 0 quarterbacks. He got Bijan, Bucky, Brees, Travis Etienne, and he stacked a lot of guys. As long as he can get his quarterback, like if he gets J.J. McCarthy, that's not bad. No stacks, but I mean, I feel like he's gonna get a lot of points. Hard to beat. He's probably gonna go quarterback if I were him for sure. Algiers gone. That's okay. I think Jalen Wright was the better pick. So let's see what happens here. What's his roster look like? We got his stack. He could probably use a running back, so he might go Jalen Wright here. He might want to get like a high end, pick here. We'll see what happens. Maybe goes J.J. McCarthy. Braylon Allen, I do not have any faith in him. Jalen Wright, come on down. Hunter Henry, come on down. Will be good. Jake Legs Cake. That's a good one. He gets J.J. McCarthy. I think he could be definitely a top 12 quarterback. So to get him this late, he's probably going to lock in and getting the handcuff basically there. Plus he could have some upside as being the guy. Really good. Well played. Well played, man. Well played. Gotta love it. Yeah, if I could have his team just for the advanced rate alone, probably would do it. Because, I mean, how's that team not advanced? There's 4 running backs. The wide receivers a little bit to be desired. Never mind. I could definitely see them falling apart. Here, sorry about that. I had to take a phone call. But yeah, having Geno Smith this late. Let's see what his stacks are. He has DK Metcalf and Jackson Njigba. That's a good one. That's some good correlation. Then he has Anthony Richardson and Jordan Love. I like the team build of that team for sure. I really need to look at running backs, kind of later tier here. Could go Roschon Johnson, Austin Eckler, DJ Giddens. I think Javonte finds his way onto a team, honestly, as well. And I think he's going to be maybe not like the starter, but like, in a committee backfield I really hope he gets a job. I feel like he's a good running back. That injury really, really, really hindered him. But hopefully he comes back full strength. Nick Chubb, Jordan. I feel like Jordan Mason maybe is a higher pick than Javonte for me right now. Because I think he's a free agent this year, and I could see him, he did really well with the starting job there for that offense. I could see him going elsewhere, getting some money, maybe going to the Vikings in addition to Aaron Jones, and they just signed both of them, and he's kind of like the leader of the committee. And Aaron Jones is more the pass catcher guy. I could see that for sure. Appreciate everyone stopping by the stream as well. Let's see, there's 4 people in here. Put down who you guys think is going to be, the guy that you need for best ball this year. If that's like where you think the most value is in the position, but just say hi, and I'll see what you guys think. Get the chat moving, if you know what I mean. So we got 4 people just chilling in here. We got some lurkers in the chat. I'm down to 3. Make sure you guys like the stream. That helps me out a lot, obviously. And if you also want to hit that subscribe button, you'll get my notifications when I go live. I'll be doing a lot of best ball. I was in the top 190 for Best Ball Mania. Won $8,000. Was pretty sweet. And then I'm in the mitten right now, so I have a chance to win $50,000 on Super Bowl Sunday. So if you want to sweat it out with me, you can also check me out on Twitter, Fantasy Football Chris. Put a lot of updates during the Super Bowl probably. 5 picks away. It'd be nice to get some of these running backs. I feel like I'm pretty well positioned in the other positions. I might go Higbee at tight end too, just to grab some good depth, but not this round. If he's there after the next couple, 209. I'll be pushing him. Stafford. 4 quarterbacks. Like, what are you doing? And Chase Brown. Ugh. Zach Charbonnet. Tyjae Spears. Like, you probably need some running backs, man. I love when I see that. When I see 4 quarterbacks, when I already have 3, like, I'm advancing. They are not, probably. I'm going to go DJ Giddens for the upside. And Jordan Mason. If I can. Let's see. Jay Knoll. Jordan Mason, come on down. Come on down, man. At this point, I got 3-6-6-2. I'm really comfortable with my wide receivers, though. I feel like they could all be pretty good at their position. I think I have 3 top 12 guys. And then any given week, hopefully Tet, Juwan Jennings, or Keenan Allen can kind of have those boom weeks when I need them. So hoping that this will be kind of what I need for a nice winning lineup here. I'll probably add 1 more wide receiver, though. Now, just looking at my running backs, Josh Jacobs is going to cement me. David Montgomery is going to be a pretty good plotter. And then hopefully one or two of these other guys kind of emerges, and they're live players by week 14. That's kind of my goal. Like, even if DJ Giddens is just on a roster, he's the RB3. Hopefully by week 14, the guys ahead of him are, banged up a little bit. They say, we'll give DJ Giddens some plays, and he busts one off for 60-yard touchdown. That's what I'm kind of hoping for on 60 yards and a touchdown, maybe like the full game. But yeah, it could really help you out with advance rates. See what happens. I think after round 19, I'm actually going to cut the stream off a little bit early. I gotta get dinner ready, so I might be back on around 9. So if you guys are looking just to chill, after 9, I'll probably be back on doing some drafts. So definitely hit that subscribe button so that you connect for later. But I always appreciate the love and support on streams, my dudes. Could go Malik Washington. Yeah, I really don't have a lot of correlation. I could get Tavian Sanders if he's available. Could go De'Ami Brown. I don't have I have McLaurin. It's an interesting pick coming up. Could go Keyshawn Boutte. I'm not a big believer in him, but he did score 100 points last year. He had sort of a breakout. I mean, there wasn't a lot of competition, but he had some good, interesting throws with Drake May. He had a couple of 30-yard bomb touchdowns. So, and he's gone. He's gone. Keyshawn Boutte. Someone said I like him more than you. Plus, I really don't have a lot of Keyshawn Boutte, but it could be an interesting piece. Is Tolbert gone already? I would assume so, yeah. Tolbert 205. I feel like he's really good value. Anything before or after 200 just insane. Could go Mike Gesicki as well. Kind of like a mini stack. It's not bad at all. Whew. Kind of hoping Jatavian Sanders is there, honestly. I missed on Chig. I want to get Chigakonkwo on my squad. Big whiff there. What's my Chig? I feel like it's lower than 5. That needs to be 8%. Yikes. It's only 4 drafts. Keenan Allen, 50% and climbing. Let's go. 100% for Tolbert through 3 teams. Yikes. Theo Johnson, Malik Neighbors. Man, I'm going to be heavy Malik. Cam Akers, 33%. I like looking at those exposures for sure. We're 2 picks away, guys, here. Let's see what happens. Jatavian is gone. Gone like the wind. We got Mike Gesicki. It's 109 points, but he was really, when T. Higgins was not there, he was a really big safety valve. I could see, T. Higgins gets traded, and then boom, all the value goes to him. I'm gonna do. There's not a lot of wide receivers that I really want right now, honestly. I'm gonna go here and just snag Jordan James. But yeah, like I said, I'm gonna go grab some dinner or get some dinner ready. So appreciate everyone stopping by the stream, but I am gonna get off here. But if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and love the support.